Hey, my name is Jobby, and we're finishing up the Cang Toys Thunderking this year, goddammit! The Cang Toys CTGO04 Kinglion and the CTGO07 DASIRIUS brings us so much closer to the complete third-party Predaking. And Kinglion is a third-party version of the Transformers G1 Decepticon RAZORCLAW, who's the leader of the animalistic combiner team called the Predacons, who all combine into PREDAKING. I've said this all before, just check out the brand new Thunderking playlist, and check out this brand new SHIN Jobby plush. In celebration of Who Will Know Acapella getting 1 million views, Youtooz and I partnered up once again to bring you this absolutely beautiful plushie. And you better get your order in before April 19, because after that, who will know when it'll come back in stock? Never. The answer is never. I'll definitely show this again later, but for now, let's take a look at this beautiful box, which contains both of these figures. Not the worst price for a 2-pack, but it still hurts. Links in the description, by the way. I'm surprised that it's still in stock after all these years. Some assembly is required for Kinglion, and the included instruction booklet will not help you. Cang Toys makes some banger figures, but their instructions make me want to bang my head into the wall. There's a reason why my Just Playing stream was so long. Subscribe to Jobby too. Attach this sizable backpack and remove this tiny nose cover to attach this horn if you want. But with or without the horn, the painting and the sculpting on Kinglion is amazing. We'll talk about DASIRIUS later, of course. Compared to his fellow Preds, this is the craziest redesign yet. It's a beautiful blend of the aesthetic of Gundam and Bayformers. That's a good thing, I swear. What I mean is that this design is beautifully busy, mainly because of all these ball-jointed main parts. Shit. And you should already know how I feel about lion-chested mechas. I'm a happy man. Another ingredient in this aesthetic hot pot is Zoids, which I should really talk about. Literally one of my top 3 childhood toy lines. You'll hear more about Zoids when we get to the lion mode. And the most G1 faithful element here is the head sculpt, which looks so good, especially when you get that light piping working. But even then, I would have preferred an actual light up feature. You could ask me about that later. Fucking hell, I don't get paid enough for this shit. Insert the fingers into the handle, and that should plug into the palm, but not very well. Or you can extend the axe. Be very careful when doing that. This is obviously thin, and that reveals more slots to plug in 2 hands. Just a great looking weapon for a great looking figure. But it's not a G1 accurate sword, so 0 out of 10.
Hey, Jobby, I think it looks cool.
No sort of weapon storage as far as I can tell, but it could transform a bit. We'll save that for another video, which is definitely coming out this year. Shut up. You also get a card. Stats on the back. Goodbye. So this guy obviously looks great, but is he as much of a pain to handle as he looks? Yes. Hope you got some isopropyl alcohol for those cuts, cuz but if you could muscle through the spikiness, you'll find that the figure is super solid. And hefty, too. There's a ton of die-cast metal that you could see and feel. And if you don't end up in the ER, you can enjoy this figure's posability. Ball joint at the head. Every ball joint can be a swivel. Can look up really far and look down that far. These red main parts are on ball joints. Ow. And so are these. Every ball joint. That should move out of the way for a rotation at the shoulder. These shoulder pads are on hinge joints, ball joint, which were way too tight out of the box. We'll get back to that later. Hinge joint, ball joint, every ball joint, more ball joints, and a big old hinge joint. There's a pivot at these main parts. Let's just say they're fully adjustable to get them out of the way. Hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint. Pew. This flaps on a hinge joint, and that lets the shoulder move up, arm moves out, bicep swivel, double bend at the elbow, hinge joint at the wrist, swivel here, hinge joint at the thumb, ball joint at the base, another hinge joint, ball joints at the base of all the fingers, and a hinge joint at all the fingers. Individually articulated. There's a waist swivel. Front skirts move up, side skirts are on a ball joint, hinge joint, and the butt skirts also move up, which frees up the leg for a rotation. Can't move back that far. He's got a beautiful spread, and the tail's got a hinge joint, and it can move side to side. Not the most curvy poses, but it gets the job done. Thigh swivel, a bend at the knee, hinge joint at the ankle, hinge joint at the toe, ball joint at this ankle guard, another hinge joint, and a damn good pivot. Posability here is great, and surprisingly, he can stand up perfectly fine in practically any pose you get him in, despite that big-ass backpack, which can actually convert into a cannon mode. Let's do that real quick. very nice, shows that the backpack was big for a reason, which can also be said about the robot mode in general. Holy moly! Thunder King's gonna be huge. Size comparison time. Here's Figma Modic Economy, Haya Toys Godzilla, Magic Square Light of Peace, my previous review, the New Age Romulus Not Megatron, and my other Cang Toys Predacons so far. Oh, boy, we're so close. I'm so close. Funny cum joke. Let's hold it in for now. We got a transformation to cover, which is surprisingly smooth and simple, as long as you're not following these stupid instructions. So after getting the robot mode on all fours, the lion mode is absolutely amazing! How the slag is it this proportionate, this majestic, this... That previously mentioned Zoid's influence is in full force here, in the beast way possible. This is basically a Liger Zero variant that's completely made of knife. Shit. I also recommend loosening up these specific main bits. These ball joints were way too tight out of the box. I'd recommend loosening up most of these squeaky bits. They don't gotta be that tight. And this head sculpt looks even better in this mode than it did as a titty cover. Excellent light piping, die-cast metal teeth. It's the perfect mechanical lion face. He also feels perfect, mostly. There's a bit too much cheek wiggle, but it's not the end of the world. Plugs right back in. And because of the relatively simple transformation, all the robot mode limbs and more are available for you to pose. Ball joint at the head. Every ball joint. Pretty damn tight if you couldn't tell. Hinge joint at the base of the neck. Can't look down that far. Look too far down and everything gets undone. Hinge joint at this neck flap. Opening mouth, which reveals that he's the throat goat. And I've already talked about these pieces. Essentially, everything beyond the lion head is exactly the same as the robot mode. Except instead of fingers, you get a ball joint at the paw, hinge joint here, which allows it to move up that far, and a hinge joint at the base of the paw allows it to move down that far. No more waist swivel, it's locked into place by the backpack. And these back main parts can get out of the way for the hinge joints of the backpack to move, same as the robot mode. And again, rotation. This joint here is just the knee joint of the robot mode, but you do get an additional knee swivel, another knee bend, hinge joint, and you already know. And the tail, again, same exact thing. Posability here is still great, and I bet it would look even better in the air. Not that lions could fly, I meant a pouncing pose. Come on, dude. Shout out to the comments on my Firmament review that recommended a clear acrylic block as a stand. I actually had some, and it's not because I was gonna fill them up. Size comparison time again. Modica Godzilla Prime and the Predacons. Out of all of these, King Lion has gotta be my favorite beast mode. Gorilla and Huge Rhino are gonna have a lot to top. Which reminds me, why the frick did I not save this guy for last? The figure's final transformation would have been such a perfect lead-in to the full combination. Talk about getting blue-balled. very cool. The body mode makes it all the more disappointing that I haven't reviewed all of these fracking figures yet. Look how epic this design is so far. And the head sculpt is such a great redesign of the original Predaking. I love the addition of an evil underbite.
Can't relate.
And guess what else? Oh my god! 2 LR44 batteries not included. And despite the Bay-style busyness, the chest holds together really well. These main parts actually tab in to lock them into this specific angle. Wish I could say the same about the other pointy bits. They're still completely posable. We'll save Thunder King's posability for the eventual Cang Toys finale, which will happen this year, damn it! But for now, I'll say that this mode is solid. It had better be, since it's gonna be the literal center mass of the fully combined Thunder King. Speaking of, it just gets easier to imagine how gigantic Thunder King's gonna be. Size comparison time, Monica Godzilla Prime, and... I can't keep it in my pants anymore, chat. I gotta do it. I feel a bit lightheaded. Not just because I've been waiting for this for 4 years and I've been screaming about how cool it looks, but holy fuck is it heavy. It's no wonder these shoulder ratchets were so tight, but now it looks like they're not tight enough. Is this gonna be a problem? We'll find out once we reach the finish line. And how can we do that without a pair of feet? Let's talk about one of those feet, the Cang Toys DASIRIUS. As far as I know, DASIRIUS doesn't have a direct G1 counterpart. It's a stroke of Cang Toys genius that brings us this excellent robot mode. The design is sick, the head sculpt is edgy as fuck, and I don't even mind his massive dumpy. It helps that this is a crucial part of the combined mode. It's just too bad you can't store the weapon here. Oh, never mind. The gun just plugs into the hand. Way better grip than his feline superior. And he's got his own card. Yippee! Joints are tight, figure is solid. And he's got a respectable amount of posability. Ball joint at the head. Every ball joint can look up really far, looks down that far. Rotation at the shoulder. Shoulder pads on a hinge joint. Ah, shit. That thing is red for a reason. Arm moves out. Bicep swivel. Bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel. Fingers can open. Not individually articulated. Waist swivel, as long as you've got his ass out of the way. Rotation. Rotation. Ball joints at the front skirts, which allows for rotation. Can move back that far. Beautiful spread, which lets the hips rotate even more. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee, and even more of a bend. Bends this way as well, but that's more for the transformation. Hinge joint at the ankle, ball joint at the foot. That gives it some up and down. A toe bend, and a barely pivot. Posability here is just as good as any of his bigger brothers. But that's not to say this guy is small. Size comparison time. MGP Predacons. Cang Toys did not have to go this hard on a glorified piece of parts forming. But unlike his handy counterpart, bitch, this guy has one more mode before he stays in foot mode forever. Even though the transformation was ridiculously simple, the wolf mode is still impressive. It's proportionate, the head sculpt is great, getting major Garuru vibes. Remember Digimon? Just like the robot mode, he's a bit chunky in the back. But I like to think of these pointy parts as metallic floof. There's no dangly bits here that prevent him from being solid, and that makes him easy to pose. Hinge joint at the neck, but that's technically untransforming it. Can look down that far. Gives you a better look at the ball joint. Every ball joint can be. Allows for some pretty good side to side. Mouth can open. Front legs are exactly the same as the robot mode arm, but now you get a ball joint at the paw. And a hinge joint allows it to move down that far. Decent pivot. Waist swivel. Legs are exactly the same. Tail can move up, which reveals that it's actually on a ball joint. Every ball joint. Who's a good boy? Posability's not bad at all. It's not the most posable Cang Toys Beast Mode, but it's definitely the smallest. Besides bitch. Monica Godzilla Prime Predacons. It's a goddamn zoo in here and I love it. And now we're gonna take a look at this guy's main job. Foot job. Big thanks to this comment on my Just Playing stream for telling me about this seemingly random 3M strip that was included. I almost threw it away. But it's actually a sheet of circles that are meant to be pasted into these circles. This rubber padding is gonna give this gripper mode some more grip. And if you're wondering, the other foot is gonna be a retool. The same figure with some subtle design differences. We'll get there when we get there this year. The instructions also mention some alternate foot modes. But why would you want the wolf head sticking out of his foot? That's just cruel. It might not be G1 accurate, but come on. The more toes, the better. As I hoped, Cang Toys made damn sure that this foot mode is solid. Enough not to buckle under the fully combined mode, right? Why don't I feel any die-cast metal here? And shut the fork up and get in there. A complete lower leg and a mostly complete upper body. I haven't edged this hard since Nice. Even if they weren't part of a combiner team, these guys would still be excellent. Kinglion is my favorite Cang Toys Predacon so far, and DASIRIUS is seriously a great figure. And don't forget to check out the SHIN Jobby plush. Links in the description. After April 19, they're gone forever. Don't miss it. You're not gonna want to miss this beautiful and legally distinct design that's sure to give you an existential crisis. For our next review, I'm gonna have to be a bit more respectful. She's a fictional high schooler.